Kia ora koutou katoa, no mai hara mai ki te ao Hākinakina, your sports show right here on your Tribal Pulse, Te Korimako o Taranaki, 94.8 FM and 98.4 FM. Well, at just 18 years old, he's already made some waves in the basketballing world. Hailing from Ōpunakē, he's currently a freshman power forward for the Michigan Wolverines in the NCAA Big Ten Conference. His journey has taken him from local courts in Taranaki to international tournaments representing New Zealand, at the FIBA championships, and even training at the NBA Global Academy in Australia. He's a rising star with an inspiring story, and we're excited to learn more about his path to success. No mai hara mai, Oscar Goodman. Good to have you on the show, bro.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Awesome. We're very lucky to have Oscar on the show. He's calling in from America, and I think it's like 9 o'clock the day behind us. So awesome to have you on the show. But hey, let's start at the beginning. So obviously, where did you grow up? Ōpunakē, obviously. But what was life like for you as a kid in Ōpunakē and being in such a small community and tight-knit basketball community?
So I originally grew up in the Coromandel. And then, so I lived there in Tairua for the first 11, 12 years. And then we moved down to Ōpunakē. And, I really was kind of exposed to basketball and just the different culture and all that. So, from about 12 years old, I really picked up basketball, and it's just been my life ever since.
Awesome. Well, before basketball became your main sport, were there any other sports that you played or enjoyed?
Yeah, I played soccer for a while, maybe 10 years, and then I got into rugby because of Luke. He kind of dragged me along, and I really got into it then, and then,
Awesome. You would have been a pretty big player in football and soccer, that's for sure. Hey, so tell us a little bit about your family environment. Like who were the biggest influences in your upbringing? Obviously, you got a lot of brothers. I had the pleasure of coaching one of your little brothers, but tell us about your family environment and the biggest influences in your life.
So I definitely think my mum and dad, they both played a lot of sports growing up, and compete when they chose their sport to focus on. They competed at really high levels and won a few national championships and that. So they kind of threw me and my brothers into sport from a super young age. And honestly, it's just it's everything I know. Just anything sport is some of my main interests, and I've just loved throwing a ball around or going for a swim or something like that. So I'd say my parents definitely had the biggest influence on me first growing up in the sport.
Awesome. Well, down the coast there, it's well known for brothers doing well in sport. You got the Barrett brothers down the coast as well. What would have that been like growing up? Obviously, having heaps of brothers, a few bit of push and shove, but some tough footy or shooting hoops together. That would have been interesting to watch.
Oh yeah, I definitely think growing up with younger brothers, they definitely pushed me and tested my limits, and I think I did the same, and it ultimately set us up for the best and set us up for the future. So,
awesome, that's great. So, what was the moment? What was the moment or the experience that you made, that made you kind of fall in love with basketball? When was it? What point in your life was it that you were actually, I really love this and I really want to pursue this? When was that moment?
I really think the end of my year 8 year and start of high school. I was a fan of rugby, and I still am, but I couldn't quite get used to that level of physicality, and I just never really liked it that much. And I actually got a concussion playing rugby, and I couldn't play basketball, and I was really down for the time I was out. So I was like, I'm going to stop playing rugby now and just focus on basketball. So I'd say, around 13, 12 is when I really focused on basketball.
Nice. And along that journey, once you started to focus on basketball, who have been the key people or the key mentors that have kind of helped shape your career?
First off, when I first found basketball, it was Nick Savona. He kind of just taught me a bunch of the basics, taught me how to shoot a ball properly, and just kind of to have the right attitude. And then when I started getting okay at it, Joe Reddish and Sam, they were coaches in the Naki just outside of Hāora, and they ran a few camps. They really built my skill set up just because I was a bigger kid. They kept telling me that you're not going to be the biggest kid on the court, so we got to give you some skills so you can keep getting good and keep getting better. So I'd say those three definitely had a massive influence early on in my basketball career.
Well, those type of people are so important, aren't they, in terms of one's journey? So big kudos to them if they're out there listening. Now, we're going to go to a quick break now, Mano, so make sure to stay tuned because we'll be back to speak with Oscar more about his amazing journey through basketball. Well, we're back, Wano. We're back at Te Koremako, Te Ao Hākinakina 94.8 FM and 98.4 FM. Now we're speaking with Oscar Goodman, calling in all the way from America. Now, you've had some incredible opportunities, Oscar, from representing New Zealand, to joining the NBA Global Academy. Which of these experiences kind of stand out for you the most?
I'd definitely say the NBA Global Academy. I think they really changed my life and the perspective of my basketball career. They helped me academically and then just all around, turning me into a better person, just a better man. And they taught me a lot how to coach myself off the court as well as on the court. And I think I took a lot of life lessons from my time being in Australia at the NBA Global Academy. Beautiful.
That must have been such an experience, most definitely. Now, every athlete, faces challenges. You're only a young man, but what have been some of your toughest kind of obstacles that you've had to overcome, and how did you push through them?
I definitely think the biggest challenge for me was when I first got to NBA Global Academy. I was kind of, I'd say, smaller and not as strong as some of the older dudes in my position, and I was really getting bullied for the first few months I was there. But as soon as a few of those guys, they graduated and went to college and went to professionals, I could really see the development in my game. And I think just me sticking with the process of getting beat down and just getting back up and just keep sticking with it and keep getting better, I think that really helped me a lot, and I got a lot better from that.
Awesome. Fortitude, Fortitude to push through. Great bit of advice there for our listeners at home. Now, what's your favorite moment or memory so far in your basketball career? Is there a game or a tournament or a personal achievement that really kind of stands out for you when it first comes to mind?
I definitely think the U17 World Cup, when we made the top four, that was a lot of fun. It was a great group of guys, and for a personal achievement, I definitely think making the All-Star 5 of that tournament, that was just a real compliment to me, and I feel like the hard work that I put in, it was all paying off, and it was awesome.
Wow, awesome! That's primo. Now you're at Michigan. What has the transition been like? Moving from New Zealand to US college basketball, it's absolutely huge over there, college basketball. So what has that transition been like for you?
It's been really well. It's been really good. I think international basketball is starting to really reflect on college and how it's being played. So I found my way into the system pretty quick and kind of understood what was going to work, what wasn't going to work. But the athleticism of some of these guys over here is pretty insane, and can't really get away with a lot of what I used to be able to. So kind of just had to be a bit smarter in a few areas, but it's all better for the good.
Awesome. And what about international players? There's, obviously basketball is huge in America and over in Europe and that, but is there many international players that play in the college systems?
Oh yeah, it's grown a lot now with the whole NIL and all that side of things. There's three of us at Michigan, and then I have a bunch of friends from NBA Academy, from the New Zealand teams, who are all at college as well, and know a few dudes who we played against in Europe and at the World Cups and that, who are all at college as well. So it's definitely grown for sure.
Awesome. Now looking ahead, what are your goals for the next few years? Obviously, you're at college now. What are some of your big goals moving ahead?
So my goals for this year would be just when I get the opportunity to get in and play, just contribute in a positive way and start building that trust with the coaches. So to follow on for the next year, just having that trust and knowing they can trust me and put me out there for longer stints and whatnot. And then I'd say for New Zealand basketball, if I do get the opportunity to help qualify the Tall Blacks for the 2028 Olympics in LA, I think, and then obviously go there and try and compete for a medal, I think that would be awesome to experience at a young age as well, and just start off my international career with the Olympics, I think would be awesome.
Beautiful. Wow, we're looking forward to that, man. Can't wait to see you on the big stage repping your country, that's for sure. So lastly, just a bit of advice. What advice would you give, young athletes from little old places like, Ōpunakē, little country towns, who dream of following in your footsteps? What's some advice you would give young kids that might be listening?
I think if you really love what you're doing, you just got to give it your all, stick with it. There's going to be ups and downs. I've gone through a lot of controversy in my life with basketball, being away from home. You're going to have to sacrifice a lot. But if you really do love it, it's all going to be worth it in the end.
Beautiful. Lovely bit of advice there, Wano. Now, Oscar, it's been an absolute privilege to have you on the show. Your journey from a small town in Aotearoa to the big stage in US college basketball is truly inspiring, mate. We wish you all the best as you continue to chase your dreams and represent your roots with pride. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Just know that all of us back here in Taranaki are cheering you on, mate, and wish you nothing but the best in the years to come.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate you.